Many times in the cryptocurrency community, tokens are released for seemingly completely arbitrary reasons whilst being surrounded by a huge wave of hype. If your thingy has no use value, then its exchange value divorced from that use value is completely speculative. I'll repeat, if it doesn't have a use value, then it's purely a speculative asset. So if you find yourself investing in a token that's brand new and you don't actually have any belief in people buying and paying for goods and services in a hawk to a coin, the actual function of a currency, you are purely acting out of speculation. And your only possible concern could be the increase in value of the token in United States dollars. So, in many cases where we have this thing where a large speculator is able to influence smaller speculators with some promise of, you know, profit, and while they have their intentions will derail or make the prophecy self-fulfilled and then short-lived. You always see that in 99% of cases, no one even has any conception that the token will actually be used as an actual currency. And in 1% of those cases, maybe there is some sketch of a plan, but it's like a shitty pencil outline, and no one even really believes in it anyway. And so when we have these instances of smaller, well, they don't always have to be smaller, but we could say usually smaller or losing speculators in this arrangement where the larger speculator or the influencer pumps and dumps the currency. The smaller speculator will attempt to regulate the larger speculator in the way that it can. This usually takes the form of a social backlash. They will try and cause a wave of backlash against the creator, which might damage their reputation. They will set up their own heroes that specialize in this. But ultimately, your opinion doesn't really matter. And the large, the person who did it, the kind of event keeps happening, sometimes even by the same people, and people keep so-called falling for it because even though they put on the sense of morality, ultimately what they are is a speculator, and them being a speculator is their sole concern, and that will ultimately override any morality they pretend to possess, and that morality is just a visceral reaction to their failing in speculating. And it is true that even these pump and dump schemes, like, yeah, if you fall off the cliff and you lose 100%, but if you time it right, you could make a profit, and that's what everyone is on board for. So about these backlashes, one of the interesting things, which is the reason why I am really making this video, is that sometimes I even heard the phrase, to save crypto, we need some sort of government regulation, which is an absolute absurdity. And the word crypto at this point has turned into a complete buzzword. So it means different things to the different people who use it. But obviously, from context clues, and how people use a word, you can reverse engineer what it means to them. So let's try this. Let's see if to these kind of people, does crypto mean privacy? All right. So we need, look at that pump and dump. We need the state to step in and save privacy. Does that sound like a very sensible sentence? Look at that pump and dump. We need the state to step in and save security, to save freedom, to save decentralization, to save true ownership. None of those sentences make sense. To fill out the intentions of what they say, you will basically realize that by crypto, the all of what crypto means to these people is really just a safe uh, and ethical way to gamble that has some semblance of community and fun that is completely fake expressions of joy that come from greed. And so the real reason I'm making this video is because one, to explain why it doesn't really matter, this whole pump it up thing, it doesn't really matter. And what that doesn't really matter to is actually what crypto is supposed to be about to the people who actually care about its true roots. To the people who engage in the gambling, they usually just engage with an exchange. The blockchain, the actual fundamental thing that crypto is, the various technologies, they don't even interact with that. Crypto was created as it is to fulfill a certain purpose. And the people who tell you that it needs to be regulated to be saved are the people who want to have a safe and ethical way to gamble on a centralized database. So yeah, that's all. Have a nice one.